Hello again. This is the Watering Man, Spiritual Toolbox number 246, John chapter 3, recording number 95. It's audio recording number 564 and examination table number 224. We'll be continuing in John chapter 3, verse 16. Okay? Now let me read this. I could quote it, but we'll read it. Okay? From the King James Version. Now, these words are not the end of it, right? Not complete. They're not translated right, a lot of them and stuff. Okay? Let's dig into it, documazo, examine it. Okay? Now it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life." Okay? Now, I'm going to show you here shortly. I got it recorded on my recorder. I'll finish up the last one, and then I'll go into this one. And I'll be close on time, but I need to say this other thing first, okay? But now, and that word that they translate as whosoever, that's wrong. Flat out wrong. It's pos. Okay? And pos is all, any, everyone, including every thought process. God's got it covered. He put an insurance policy in there, okay? That measure, that metron. Okay? Now let me read this little part. Pos is all, the whole, everyone, every thought process can only get so cold or separated from God. Okay, all the way down in the microscopic particles in the natural, as they slow down, they get colder and colder and colder. As they get hotter, they speed up. Go in hot pursuit. Go in hot. Speed up. Go. But you're slowing down. You're resting in yourself, in your old red nature, your old beast nature. But God is bringing you into your zeal for God. Your love for Him is increasing. But you're resting and relying in His power, in His might, not yours, in His Spirit. Okay? Now, so, as you're getting colder and colder and colder, rejecting God, disagreeing with God, going the red way. Whether you're Hardemia, that word they use for one of them that they translate as sin, it's just as an archer shooting at the target, the will of God, the desire of God, and missing. So what it means. It's as a target. As a person shooting at the target. They're trying to hit the target, but they're missing. Okay? Alright? That's Hardemia. And the other word that they use for sin is paroptoma. That means an intentional or unintentional sidestep or error. Jesus fulfilled it, took care of all of it. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. He showed us the way, the truth, and light, how the green like that, coming out of that stuff. Now, no matter how much you do this stuff, you miss it intentionally, unintentionally, you do it, whatever. Turn your back on God, go in the red way, saying there is no God, it don't matter. Getting colder and colder and colder, right? But all the way down in there, God put a measure, a metron, a limited portion of faith, the seed of Christ, that won't let you get all the way to absolute zero. Okay, let me read here. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Absolute zero is whenever every microscopic particle in that thing completely stops. Okay? Absolute zero is when even the microscopic particles, the thought processes in the person, stop moving or moving from the influence of God. God put a metron, a limited portion, a measure. In the King James Version, it says a measure. In Romans chapter 12, verse 3. In all, every man, that's pas. Everyone, same word here they use that they translate as whosoever. It's not whosoever, it's all. Pas. Everyone. Every thought process. There's a way. Jesus showed us the way, the truth, and life. Yahweh is salvation. Jesus means Yahweh is salvation. I-S-O-U-S. 24:24. That they translate as Jesus. Okay? This measure, this metron, is an insurance clause given by God to ensure that God loses none. That's great, right? They can remain cold, but it's never completely stopping. Way down in the microscopic particles, just like in the natural, there's a little bit of movement. No matter how cold, you can't reach that absolute zero. God ensured that. And He's showing us in the natural, same thing. You can't reach that. Okay? Each microscopic particle thought process may be extremely cold or lightweight in God's character. They're turning from Him in every way they can. They're trying to be rebellious as rebellious can get. Their paroptoma is their middle name. An intentional or unintentional sidestep or error or rejection of God in His way. They're not going to get no thing no matter what. But there's that limited portion in there that ensures that no matter how much you reject God's way, how much of that pig slop you swallow, how much of an unclean animal you are, you can't be totally separated. You'll be extremely lightweight, least in the kingdom of God. But you won't be completely separated. And it's old hell stuff that they think. They don't even look at those 4 words and see it, interpret it with the green way, with God's way. God is the greatest. Stop that junk. Quit swallowing that bullshit. Right? Make God true. Acknowledge God is the truth, and all this other stuff is a liar. That humanistic thinking, don't swallow that stuff. Okay? Now, okay. Let me reread this one more part. Each microscopic particle or thought process may be extremely cold, lightweight in God's character, but it never reaches absolute zero or is totally separated from God. God is the greatest. It's like a mic drop. Drop the microphone on this. Boom. Period. God is the greatest. God causes all things to work together for good to them that love God, to those who are the called according to His purpose, for whom He did foreknow, He did predestinate, conformed, not to be, conformed to the image of His Son, that He be firstborn among many brethren. God does this all, giving us a possibility to come out. But if you reject, go red way. He's got an insurance, a limited portion, a measure, a metron in there that won't let you go all the way to absolute zero, no matter how bad you want it, or you think you want it, or how rebellious you get. Even Hitler. Ooh. Say, I can't see, there ain't no good in him, he's totally evil. No. He don't even know about it. Thank God, God's got it covered. Because his ways are higher than our ways. He can do it. When no one else can. God is faithful. Mankind, any person, is not totally faithful to that point. How many people do you know that could be tortured, to the max, and put on a cross, and that's not a 2-member beam, that's a staros, that's a stake, that's a pole, a post, a tree, put on there, like it says in Luke 23:34, when Jesus, he was on the cross being crucified, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. When Stephen was dying, they were stoning him to death, gnashing their teeth on him, chewing on him. It says, Father, lay not this sin to their charge. Whoa. That's in the nature of the character and authority of God. Don't matter. But you'll be extremely lightweight in his character. You won't go on to get any increase. You won't go 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. Up this way, getting heavier in your thought processes, denser in God's character. A weighty, dense substance, glorious in God's character. In his love that's beyond the description of mere words. Man, God's not mocked. Mankind, every person, they'll reap what they sow. It's not up to you to justify it. God takes care of it. And it's done precisely right. It's not up to this, like the end of the book of Judges, when there's no king in the land, when their own carnal minds try to be their king. They do whatever they want, see fit in their own eyes, in their own vision. They're going their own red way. God, thankfully, has provided that measure of faith, that limited portion of his pistis, that's given us possibility to come back, that seed, to come back to him. It's like that singularity. It's got the potential to glorify this whole universe of your mind. If you'll agree, no matter what. Green like God. Go the green path. Every man in their own order, from the least to the greatest. Every thought process, least to the great. Alright. God is love, not hatred. Not the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst, because he's the all-powerful, omnipotent, omniscient, he's all-knowing, omnipresent, he's everywhere at once, and he's sovereign, he's in control of everything. And he's not going to turn into a mad scientist, no matter how many, who says it doesn't matter. It's carnal mind saying, oh, go the red way. Believe me, you can trust me. Everyone else does. Don't you swallow that shit. That's sitting here and taste, touch, and smell with a log in your eye. Get that thing out. Go the green way. That's not God. Depart from me, you workers of iniquity. You're staying cold, but I've got insurance clause down in there, so you won't completely go to absolute zero. You'll just be very lightweight in my character. You'll reap what you sow. You want to stay lightweight? Have at it. Okay? God is love, not hatred. Okay? Now, let's continue on this. Recording. I'll probably have to do this on 2 of them. That's okay. I'll get her. Okay, so here we go. That was just something I had to put in there. Pay attention to this. Whosoever, it's not whosoever. Okay, it has to finish up the last recording on here, on this one, and then it'll go into the 246, Spiritual Toolbox 246. These are aids to help you make the right decision. More informed decision. Not just skimming out there on the water. Man, there sure is a lot of water out there. No. Go on beyond that. Get in there, swim around. Live in God. Exist into the self-existing one. You see that it's limitless. Wow. God is great. He's better than any old chocolate cake, better than a big old steak, better than anything you've ever experienced. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Here we go. Couple minutes on this one, then it'll automatically switch on to the next one, okay? Love you. Bye.
When you get down too far, no, God's providing a way. Okay? You're not going to hell. No. But you're going to stay extremely lightweight. You're not going to proceed. God's not mocked. Man, human anthropos will reap what they sow. You're not going to pull nothing over on God. Say, I'm getting something on him, I'm going to be a killer or a villain. No. That's stupid. Picture all wrong. Right? There'll be many that goes that way. Right is the way to destruction. Many are that'll go that way. But narrow or narrowing, ing, is the way of the truth to that fullness of life in God. Right? Now, this pos, all, that they translated as whosoever, that's wrong. And then it has ha, again, 3588. It's not there for just some decoration, this pretty thing. No, we don't need to translate that. It ain't translated again. It's that this one, that one. The definite article. It's that marble. Loaded up water. God's purifying. He's offering his possibilities. All of them. That pos. And then everybody. God's omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. God is sovereign. You're not going to top dog God, but you're alpha dog. It's a beast nature. It's trying to keep you with that 666 in your mind, and in your hand, in your works. Keep feeding into me, y'all. I got the way, the truth, and the life. Gotta say, that bullshit flag on the play, that's worthless and detestable. Okay? Oops. I'm running over here. I'm going to have to probably do that on another thing. I lost track, okay? Bye-bye. Hello again. This is Spiritual Toolbox, or the Waterman Spiritual Toolbox number 246, John chapter 3, verse 90, recording number 96, audio recording number 564, and examination table number 224. Last time I was doing this, I'm trying to segment these so I can put them on recording, and I ran over a couple minutes, so I'm going to put that on this recording and then go on. So I'm going to try to keep track of it so I don't go, so I can get it on there, okay, before it cuts me off, okay? Now, I think the last word was after pos, then ha, okay? So let me read the verse and I'll go down to that, okay? That says in John 3:16, it says, For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Now we're breaking this down, document, examine it, right? And we've covered so, for, loved, and then it has ha, and God, the, world, that, and ha, and Son, his, and then ha, and only begotten, he gave that whosoever, and ha. That's that muddy ball of water, right? Alright. Now, we're on believeth. Okay? Believeth is from the word 4100. It's that P-I-S-T-E-U-O, pistuo. We've covered this word lots of times, okay? Strong's G, 4100, pistuo. Okay? Pistuo. It comes from pistis, 4102. It's the truthfulness of God, okay? God's love is beyond the mere description of words, okay? Faith, go into the truthfulness of God, right? Green lighted, green road, green way, God's righteousness, God's love beyond words, and booyah, you go into it. Right? Trust in the singularity thought process, boom, plus everything you got. Right? Go into God, green light it. Don't red light it, right? Done told, been on that quite a bit, okay? Now those words, pistis, comes on down in the etymology to pytho, P-E-I-T-H-O, the verb. Okay? It's a primary verb. It's to persuade, to convince by argument, whether true or false. Which way you going? The green way or the red way? Which one do you think is true or false? Through this experience that you're going through this storms of life, through this centrifuge. You getting it yet, my child? Be reasonable, sit my way. If you swallow that hog slop, your own righteousness, you eat from the tree of the knowledge of your own good and evil, you shall surely die. You'll be separated. You'll have to go through harder stuff. Remember, you're callousing down and getting hardening up when you do that stuff. Becoming an old wineskin. Gets harder and harder and harder. Don't do that. Many are that will do that, though. Okay? Now, it also means to convince one to rest and rely on or in Christ. Inwardly. Seeing God's righteousness. Stop on your own might, your own power, your own tree of knowledge of good and evil. What you think's right? No, it's what God says is right. It's God's way of thinking. That's the right way, the green way. God's righteousness, God's love beyond the description of mere words. Come on, man. Okay, green light in hot pursuit. Now this pistuo, you can say it's to entrust one's spiritual well-being to Christ, to green light God inwardly in one's heart, mind, and one's thought processes. From the outer court to the holy place to the holy of holies, all the way down inside you where God is working. Bring His grace, His divine influence in your heart, in your mind, in your thought processes, and its reflection out into your lifestyle. The thermostat. Don't be a thermometer. Go to the temperature of that storm. Don't be like, go to the pressures. Oh, they're great on me. Draw near to God. Right? Like in the land of Goshen, back in Egypt, during those plagues, the 10 plagues. But they didn't bother them. All those plagues and stuff didn't bother them in the land of Goshen. That's where it's drawing near to God. Right? Inside in your mind. Do what you gotta do. Okay? Alright? It's down inside your thoughts. Right? Now, that's believeth. Okay? Pistuo. Now, the next word that they translate as I-N, the King James Version, it's not right. It's number 1519, E-I-S, this word. Strong's G, 1519, ice. Ice. We're very familiar with this word, aren't we? It's to and into. When you're going the green way, you're going towards into God. You're coming from out of that stinking thinking, your own righteousness, and then that's ek, going ice, towards into God. into God's righteousness, into his love beyond the mere description of words, and then EM, trusting, resting, relying upon God, and SYN, in union with God. It's progressively taking you in. He's purifying you. In him, that's altos, I think is what it's pronounced. 846, AUTOS, they translate that as him. It's this word.
Strong's G, 46. Altos.
Trusting God in this centrifuge, right? Right in that baffling wind. The AER. AER 109. Remember? Same as it was earlier. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Right? Yeah, don't worry, don't feed that other crap, don't believe it, just get it right. Going into him, okay? Into that altos, right into God. Green light, God. Always, right in that baffling wind, a centrifuge, separating it for you. Look at this, child. There's no monsters under your bed or in your closet, like a little kid, right? Don't believe that stuff. Make God true, and all that humanistic thinking is garbage, is a liar. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up, you old dog. Be still. Know that I am God, right? You do that, then the next word is not. Qualified negation. That may, M-E, 3361.
Strong's G, 3361. May.
Okay? And then the word right after that, they got is should and perish. Alright, we covered this before. In the King James language, it says should not perish, okay? It's don't qualify to go that red way. Perish. Qualified negation. That may. M-E. 3361. Ooh, yuck. That's bullshit. I throw the bullshit flag on it. Ooh, man, that's worthless and detestable. That's hog slop. Vomit that crap out of my mouth, just like my daddy does. I never told you to do it that way. Quit swallowing that shit. I'm sitting here and taste that smell with that big old log, that ego in your eye. You were subjected to that stuff so you learn something. Just like my grandpa gave me that chaw tobacco. That really harsh stuff. Red horse or red man. You're red in the face. You're Adamic nature. Don't swallow that stuff. It'll make you sick. God's lying to do that. So next time you go, I don't want that stuff no more. Man, I'll eat some good food or maybe chew up a little bit of bubble gum and spit it out. I don't want that hog slop in my mouth. Come back to the Father's house. It'll kill a fatted calf and make you a great meal. Great celebration for you. Party time. Right? Alright. And this, should perish. That's 622. Alright? They got like should not perish. That not's that qualified negation. Right? And then 622. Should and perish, right? 622, this word. Apollo.
G, 622. Apollo.
Alright. No. Which way do you choose to exist in? The red way or the green way? That red way, you perish, man. That's let me look at this real quick. Go back here, I got 5-star on it. Yeah, there it is. It's, covered it. You can go back and look at it more in detail. I think in the previous verse, in the recordings in that previous verse, okay? To destroy fully, to lose, God lost none, is to render useless. Your old carnal mind's trying to make you into bullshit thinking. Here, eat my bullshit. But it's not calling it bullshit. It's not saying it's rendering it useless, but it is trying to render you useless to going back into God. It don't want you to. It wants to remain the king of your heart, of your mind, of your thought processes. It wants to keep you out there saying, it's my heart, it's my blood pump in my chest. It don't want you to pursue any at all. It hates. It's hateful, detestable, yuck. It's a liar and the truth's not in it. Get away from that stuff. Turn from it. You don't want to perish in that stuff, do you? Yuck. Right? You want to come back and claim your inheritance, don't you? In Christ. Not stay that red way. It's like, hey, man, I'm just staying worthless and detestable, you know what I mean? Blah me it is. Don't be an idiot. Right? Alright. Need to hear more on that? Go back and look back in previous recordings, okay? Alright. Now after that, Sid Perry's going into that old crap thinking, okay? The next word